Hey everyone, and welcome to the Learning Ladder. Today I thought I'd do a flip through of Fables, Myths and Fairytales from IEW. So I've got the teacher manual and the student book. We'll look at the teacher manual first. Okay, so our table of contents, we've got Unit 1, which is note making and outlines. Unit 2 is writing from notes. Unit 3 is retelling narrative stories. Unit 4 is summarising a reference. Unit 5 is writing from pictures. Unit 6 is summarising multiple references. Unit 7 is inventive writing. Unit 8 is formal essay models. At the beginning couple of pages we just have instructions for use. It gives you a suggested schedule or suggested schedules you could use. And then we go into the scope and sequence, so it gives you each unit, what the subject and structure is, what style is introduced. So if you're familiar with IEW, then you'll know all about OI adverbs, the who which clause, but it'll detail here when it's first introduced. It'll also tell you the vocabulary words that they have, and then it'll also give you some literature suggestions that you could use for read aloud or assigned reading. Okay, and then we go into our first lesson. So it's set up, if you've seen structure and style, it's set up very similar in the way it's presented. So it'll give you all the information about what your unit is, what the writing topic is. So in this case, it's Famous Fables. The read aloud suggestions that are at the top. Then it'll give you your schedule. So it'll tell you the goals for the unit, or for the lesson, I should say, the assignment schedule. So a day 1, a day 2, and a day 3. If you want to combine, so say you want to do it over 2 days, then you'll do day 1 and day 2 and then together. So there's day 3 and then there's day 4. You've got your read aloud suggestion, as I said. You've got some background information for you to read. You've got your introduction to structure and style. And then it gives you the abbreviations that they can use when they're doing their keyword outline. Now this is where the student and the teacher manual will differ. So the student will just have this, but the teacher manual has got the answers in it. So you've got your answer key here too. So what you're doing in this particular section is you are making your keyword outline. So you go through each sentence and you're looking for the keywords to help you be able to retell the story. So in this case, the first sentence, they've picked mouse, ran and face, and then line, put and paw, and so on and so on. So this is how they create their keyword outline, and they have used in the teacher guide a little abbreviation to show great. But this will be obviously dependent on what your student picks as their words for the keyword outline, but you've got sort of an answer key to help you guide them if they need help. For this particular lesson, we don't go straight into writing it. We do another keyword outline because obviously it's the first lesson and we're getting our practice in. So they're doing another keyword outline on the ant and the grasshopper for their text 1B. Okay, and that's the end of lesson 1. Now we're on to lesson 2. Again, we've got our suggested schedule, we've got our read aloud suggestion, we've got our style. In this case, there is no new style. We're still practicing the same style of writing. You've got your model answer for your keyword outline, but remember, gives you some more important information. So for example, when you write from the keyword notes, it's important that they use their own words, not the exact words of the source text. It's just there as a guide for them. You'll all be very familiar with this if you've used structure and style before. I would recommend doing the traditional structure and style course before you do one of the thematic packs, because you do need to have some idea as to what the process is and everything else. We did 1A before we started this one. It explains the vocabulary section, which your student will have in their book, but there are also vocabulary cards in their book as well that they can use to help them with the vocabulary words for this unit. In this case, it's be, snore, trumpet, and inspire. And it gives them a checklist to follow when they're writing their first draft. It tells them all the things that they need to include and remember, and it also tallies it up if you're wanting to grade them. Okay, now on to lesson 3. Now we're introducing a new style technique. We're adding the OI adverb, and what that means is when they're writing their actual piece from the keyword outline, they'll need to include an OI adverb. So it's got lesson 3, which is the 4 oxen and the lioness. And they also give, in each one, if you've noticed, they always give you a little foreign language saying, which I think is a really nice little thing to add. Again, we're doing our keyword outline here. You've got your model answer key. Here are some dress ups for their OI adverb that they can use if they need help. You can go through it with them and, sort of explain how they could use the ly adverb so they're not just stumbling around in the dark. We've got a vocabulary practice, and again they're writing their first draft, and here is their checklist. It's grown by 1. Okay, in lesson 5 we've added a new style technique, but we've added the who which clause. Again, they will do their keyword outline. It gives a little suggestion here to host a Fable festival, which I think is a really nice idea. We're introducing the who which clause. We're still doing our ly adverb because each time it does grow, so they'll still practice the old style technique plus the new one. Again, checklist for their first draft. And they always get to practice twice before a new style technique has been introduced. In here we're looking at the story sequence chart. So character setting, conflict, problem, climax and resolution. This time we're working on, so here's the piece of literature we're working on this time. Keyword outline. Practicing our ly adverb, our vocabulary. Checklist. Okay, and now we've got to introduce a strong verb, and we are banned from using the words say and said. It sounds really harsh, but basically it's just trying to get them to be more creative with writing and use different words. So here is the strong verb dress up information for them. Vocabulary. Again, to write our piece. And they're giving some options for the banned words, what you could say instead. I'm going to skip ahead to lesson 27, so it's a personal letter. They've got the writing topic is my favourite fable, myth and fairy tale. So we've got our schedule. We have got some pictures here for them. Keyword outline. Our style practice. Vocabulary. And their checklist. In this case, in the part 2, they're actually writing the introduction and conclusion. Learning how to write a greeting and a complimentary close. And in their final lesson, they are doing Myths in the Stars, their Unit 8, which is formal essay models. They've got the schedule here. What we're practicing in terms of structure. Their style practice. Vocabulary. And their checklist. In the back you have the appendix with some symbols and abbreviations, some read aloud suggestions, and explaining the vocabulary cards in the student book. You've got your vocabulary words by the lesson, some vocabulary game suggestions. Okay, now we'll go on to the student book. So they have all the same introduction pages as you do in the teacher guide, but then this is how their source text looks. For the first one, they've got a page here for them to do their keyword outline. Source 1b text, keyword outline. Here's lesson 2. They've got their schedule, source text, keyword outline section, their new structure that they're working on, their vocabulary for them to write it in. The ly adverb section. Space them to practice. And let's look at the last one, lesson 29. Their checklist. They've got their abbreviations as well. And they have all their vocabulary cards at the end. Okay, so that was a look at Fables, Myths and Fairy Tales by IEW. Come back at the end of the year and I'll do my review of it. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.